workers in Kogi State are perhaps going through the most difficult of times as they have not paid salaries for months. That is the government now.
Even we hear some of them are being owed for close to more than a year.
Indeed.
Now, the best option for them, the workers, now might be to join the masquerades in Okene, the hometown of the state governor, Yahya Bello, as it appears the job pays even more.
Indeed, that's how it appears to be, really. Well, the governor, during the last Ekwechi festival in December, was said to have gifted cars, exotic cars, and cash to masquerades. Some Nigerians have come down hard on the governor, stating that his act shows he is insensitive to the plight of workers there.
Now, one of such voices belongs to a former deputy governorship candidate of the All Progressives Congress and current member of the House of Representatives, James Faleke. Now, according to Faleke, Governor Bello donated 6 Toyota Venza cars and cash gifts of 2 million naira each to the masquerades, while the state workers are wallowing in poverty.
Kogi State has received bailouts and payments from the Paris Club refund, but the governor has failed to clear up arrears of many workers, some of whom are owed for more than 20 months. That's more than 1.5 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
All right, that's the situation in Kogi State, just to give you.
Yes, well, Chris is still here with us, like we told you, and your immediate reaction, really, the first time you heard this story?
Baffled. Unbelievable. Insensitive. And the highest level of political rascality. That's how I look at it. And it's very, very sad when you put this line side by side by what happened on the 1st of January this year in Kogi State, where a director in the state, one of the ministries in the state, received his letter of sack letter, and within 3 days he died. He couldn't take it. And we heard that he's being owed several months' salaries, has families, dependents, probably parents, and other people that are dependent on him. And as the prologue also said, Kogi State is probably one of the states in Nigeria that owes so much salaries. And it's so annoying and baffling because this was part of the campaign promises of this governor. That was one. Two, it will also be realized that the bailout fund for the state was withheld during almost some few months before the election campaign because of the PDP governor that was there. They felt that if that money was released to him, probably use this for campaign and the rest of them. That money was kept. And immediately the governor came in, an APC candidate, the money was released to him. And he was asked to use that to clear salaries. Subsequently, there have been so many other Paris Club and other reforms to the states. Until today, we are still having the same issue. And it's very annoying. You know why it's very annoying to me? The governor as I would time him as what Chino Achebe once said, he was one of those that had his nut cracked by the gods. Just like Rotimi Amici. He didn't, yes. The guy just came from nowhere. He was not even in the picture. The person, it was Audu. Audu died just a few hours before the final announcement. If that announcement was made and he died, Faleke would have just taken over automatically. Exactly. But because the announcement was not made, constitutionally, they say, okay, the guy, you are not qualified, and the rest of them. So the person that was not even in the equation, that was not even, in fact, before then, rumor had it that he has already defected to even another party. And he was come to come and salvage it. That's the second one. The third point, Yahya Bello is the youngest governor in Nigeria. There has been this cry that the younger ones should take over from the youth. Remember, they're not too young to run. And we look at people like him as the hope for the future. But what are you having? He has joined his counterpart in Imo State, who is going around erecting and demoting people and the rest of them. These are young men that we look up to take over from 75 years, 76 years old Buhari and the rest of them. They're supposed to. Now, it's not obvious that Even the younger ones that we're looking up to don't even know what they are doing.
All right, talking about not too young to run and the youth in politics that has been the champion of so many people. Now, what impact will these have? Because these are examples that Nigerians are watching. These are examples that the elders are also putting forth to say, well, you guys are saying the future is yours and you say youth is time for, but see the people that are in here and see what they're doing. In fact, they're even performing worse than those who are supposed to be the so-called elderly in politics. What impact would this have going into, because this is a political year now?
Negative. Negative. And the kind of signals being sent out is that we are not ready to take over from the older generation, and that is them. I've given you two. Let me go to the last, another one again. One is in Ekiti State, moving and eating amala with people, going and riding Okada.
But the elders are doing that too.
No, wait, I'm coming. I'm just telling, I don't know. No, I'm just telling you. I'm not saying that he's not performing. I'm not saying he's not performing. But I think most of these free resources should be just put aside. And this guy should face governance elsewhere. People are suffering. This is not the time for all these kind of things. They should be seen to be, at the end of it, we should be able to look at some of that and say, okay, you said we are not ready for, IBB said it once. Are you guys really ready for this? We say, yes, we have Yahya Bello there. He was governor at the age of 40-something. See what he has done.
I just recalled what I saw online about Kogi Indigene tweeted and said, hooray, Governor Yahya Bello has commissioned his first major project in the state. And then puts it in caps, the commissioning of his own personal mansion.
Yes, I was going to that. I was going to that. And if he has done all this, why he was not a governor? Fair enough. He's a successful, to a large extent, he has been a successful because I know that he has a transport company. I wouldn't want to mention his name, which he was running, which is doing fairly well, flying Lagos, Abuja, and the rest of them. That is what, I don't know his other businesses. At least that was able to put him in the kind of seat that probably economically he should be able to run around the state and be able to look at the potentials. Kogi has one of the biggest potentials in terms of mineral resources you can get in this country. Don't forget that Itakpa is in Kogi. The iron ore is in Kogi. It's in Confluence now. It's just the next state to Abuja. Understand? To this side also, Ajokuta still is there. You know, these are huge potentials for any. Yes, they are government, federal government, but he can go in collaboration with. I served in Kaba. Okay. Kaba is just less than about 9 kilometers. Okay, in fact, I was practically staying in Okene because from Kaba we just moved to Okene and the rest of them. I was probably going to Ajaokuta, I was going to Itakpe and the rest of them. You need to see the level of anywhere you look at in Okene and the barrens, you will see the mineral. Just look at it. Just look at the hills. You will see it. These are the things that we expected a governor to do. It's not somebody that will be waiting every month and waiting to pick up something from Abuja and then that is even that. He has denied it, but look at also the crisis he got himself into. Double registration or not double registration with INEC. Is that what we want? Is that the kind of people who want to lead us? And he once came up and said, oh, we are only owing about 13 months. Can you be that? No.
This 13 is only.
I said only.
Exactly.
I said only 13.
13 months is more than a year.
So what are you saying? How do you expect it? Then he moved from there. He went into the tertiary institutions, he was sacking lecturers, dissolved so many of the unions, the ASU union in the universities and rest of them. And it doesn't just add up.
Many have said that Governor Bello is on a revenge mission because maybe some people didn't support his agenda to become the governor at that time, and it was Aldrich. So now that he became governor either by favor or luck, and he said something that got many people angry in the state when he talked about owing salaries. He said, well, those that are owed are politicians. Maybe that is why they are owed.
I don't agree with that. That is more reason why he should perform. Okay?
To prove them wrong.
To prove them. If we're in a class and they say, oh, you know, it's a primary school, secondary school, I want to select a monitor. and the class monitor as it used to be in those days. I don't know what it is now. And they say, oh no, Chris, can you do it? Then bro, you said, that's okay. Some people will support me, some people will support you, right? When I automatically become the class monitor, expectedly, you would think that the first thing I should be doing is that, oh, nobody should speak vernacular in this class. So those my enemies will be the first ones. So these are the people. These are the people that have been.
That's how politics.
That is politics. That is politics. But that is not the way it should be. Once you are elected, as a governor, as a chairman, as a president, you become the president of Nigeria. You become the governor of Kogi State. You become the local government chairman of Kaba, or wherever you are. You are no longer seen as an APC governor or a PDP governor, a Labour Party governor. You are the governor of the state. And you will be going for a second term. Your first time should be able to speak for you. And what the governor has done so far, does it even merit to go for a second term? That is the issue. So I think that the man should sit up and they should stop giving us bad names. For those of us, I'm not saying I'm going to politics. If I decide to go into politics tomorrow, I should have somebody I look up to and say, oh, look at what I am. Why don't you give me the opportunity? We don't have the wherewithal. You will also know that you also go back to these godfathers because without the endorsement, no matter whatever you do, you will not get it. You need to have a godfather that can stand in for you and can speak for you. And to raise your hands, oh, Chris, can they want to?
Anyway, that is for now.
That's what I'm saying. I said
that
now.
Is for
that's
now. Because the way the trend is going.
That is what if they can raise the bar, we'll get out of that. You cannot come in even as an independent candidate.
Like Russia is going to.
Exactly. You see, Putin has even left the party. Putin has left the party. He said, oh, I'm coming out as an independent candidate now. Come and vote for me. So that is most people didn't believe that Donald Trump was going to win. It was Clinton, and when it happened, everybody was surprised.
Even Emmanuel Macron.
But actually, Clinton won majority vote anyway. So
let's put it So what we are saying,
context.
So the issue in Kogi is very pathetic. You need to go to the state. So the issue in Kogi is very pathetic. You need to go to the state. I've been there several times. By now, you just think that Kogi should be one of the, Lokoja is a glorified village. I'm sorry to say
and that's the state capital.
Yes. Lokoja is a glorified village. Okene is practically neither here nor there. Then the other surrounding Kaba is another one. Kaba has been there. Then Ida and the rest of them. Nothing is happening. Then all the governor does is just gallivanting and making all sorts of. It's very, very sad. It's very, very sad in this.
All right. The 6 cars he bought for masquerades.
Well, he has denied it.
There he has denied. He has denied it.
They are terrestrial beings.
Okay, it's all right. But let us assume that he got the 6 cars.
Yeah.
Toyota Venza cars. Yeah. That's a total of about 90 million.
Yeah,
90 million.
Yes.
Then with 2 million naira each, that's about another 12 million.
Yes. That's
100. That's 100 million. That can even pay salaries of some persons in this. But let us come back to the basics. Governor Yahaya Bello belongs to a political party.
Yeah.
In the mind, if you listen to the voices of people, a lot of people are complaining of not being satisfied or not being satisfied by what the party is doing in some of the states so far by the governors and all of that. Yeah. Kogi State is one very basic. Yeah. Now, what role does the party have in ensuring that the governors perform, because they have an agenda, they have a manifesto, and the governors that come in are supposed to be acting by this manifesto. Yeah. So what can the party do in this circumstance by ensuring that the party lives, or the governor lives up to the expectation of the party?
Yes, the party should play a very, very vital role, because just as rightly said, everybody has his manifesto, which each and every one of the governors is supposed to drive.
Of course.
Okay. Why the president is driving that manifesto, the federal level.
But the party is not sticking to its manifesto.
Yes, so that's what I'm saying. Now, the governors were supposed to cue into that. But let us even start from the federal level. Practically, all we had in manifesto during the campaign by the APC has been denied. They said they didn't say this.
Restructuring.
We didn't say that. The president came out to say, did you hear me say it? The party say it. Those are documents. National chairman came, and at the end of it, you just realize that there's no cohesion between the parties, even within themselves, within the party itself, and all the various organs that are supposed to supersede and look after this. And also, there's supposed to be a governors forum where the governors were supposed to be comparing notes. There's the APC governors forum, there's the PDP governors forum, there's the Nigerian governors forum. That forum, what they ought to be doing, or what the behind it is that we are supposed to be coming around and comparing notes. Okay, what are you doing? Let's take Lagos, for example. See what Lagos is doing. In as much as Lagos is making so much money, but you will see true governance in Lagos State. Okay? Now, the state knew that we need to do something about agriculture. They went into partnership with a state in the north for rice.
Kebbi.
Good. At the end of Christmas, you get to see rice coming from Kebbi.
And
Because of that
State
collaboration.
is seen to be borrowing a lot of leaves now
Leaves,
from
Lagos State. Do you understand what I mean? Fine, Lagos State is in terms of this thing. But don't forget, there are also some states. If you look at the allocation yearly or monthly, the states in the South are getting so much. Bayelsa, Rivers, Delta, Edo, right?
Akwa
Ibom. Those guys are getting. Now, what is happening in those states? Apart from Akwa Ibom, since, what's his name? Akpabio left Akwa Ibom. I don't think Akwa Ibom has been the same. Nothing has changed. It's just the governor. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So what we have is that the parties have a template, which the parties, but is even the party, are they even instilling the discipline even within their members? Because there's supposed to be a benchmark. My friend, if you don't meet this at the end of your tenure, we might not give you your second term. It's not automatic. There should be a period of evaluation. Just like the president, in the fact that we have a president that's elected, there should be a template. Mr. President, this is what promised the people. Let us evaluate. If you don't hit 70%, 75%, we will not give you a return ticket. But who can stand and look the president in his face and tell him you will not get a return
say
ticket?
that?
That is the problem.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Well, you mentioned that Akwa Ibom earlier. I think Akwa Ibom State is one of the states that is taking a leaf from Lagos State directly when it comes to succession and keeping the plan. I traveled there sometime, and I saw that there's been massive transformation within the rural areas, trying to change exactly into the
Majorly
rural
driven
areas.
by former governor Godswill Akpabio.
Yeah, but the sustenance
Yes,
anyway. But you talked about the governors forum and all of that.
Yeah.
Do governors, when they meet, do they even have the moral standing to say, oh boy, you went too far when it comes to building statues and when it comes to giving cars to masquerades, whether it's true or not, but that thing I think is too. Do they really talk to each other?
Sincerely, I wouldn't know whether politics is a very, very intriguing thing. It's an industry that is very intriguing. Okay, psychophancy comes to play. Most often than not, you don't tell. Most often than not, you don't tell. They don't like people telling them the truth, and that is why they are always running into problem. They have aides who cannot look them straight in the eyes and tell them, "Sir, this is the problem." Okay, when you become a governor, there are so many things you don't longer see. There are so many people that ordinarily have access to you that no longer have access to you. You change your numbers. The number you were using that people were getting to reach, you don't get. In fact, you don't even pick your phones any longer. It's one SA picks your ADC. And it's the only person that he wants to talk to you that will talk to you, even the president. Listen to the president, I will tell you that I didn't know. I didn't get to hear, right? So I just believe that we should reject this system the way it is presently. It is not working. Okay,
in the context of
restructuring, okay. And that is where we should be going. And nobody, and after the iPod case and the rest of that, and Kano ran away.
You mentioned the issue of restructuring earlier on before we went on break. On the New Year Day broadcast of the president, he said that the challenge here is not about the structure of Nigeria, it's about the process. Now, a lot of people have been talking about restructuring and all of that. What's your take from that window? Do you think, even if the country is restructured, let us assume, and the same mindset is on, Are things going to work?
Probably it won't, but we have to start from somewhere. Okay, we have to start from somewhere. The agitation is so high, marginalization here and there, everybody's complaining. And when you have a structure where practically everybody is dragging from one part or the other at the end of it, it will collapse. Okay, we should be building, not tearing apart. What we are presently doing is tearing. We are not building the nation. And to be able to do that, everybody has agreed that the country should be restructured. How do we restructure is the main issue. What do we restructure are the issues. Okay, devolution of powers, we've tried that in the past. Are we going regional? Are we going geopolitical? Are we still retaining the same system we're having now?
No, we change the system of government to parliamentary.
Are we moving to parliamentary system? If we say this is very expensive, can we try parliamentary system? Can we have one legislative body instead of having the Senate and the House of Reps? Can we collapse the two and have just 360 instead of having 360 and another 109?
So many questions, really.
So many questions begging.
So don't you
for
think
an
it's
answer.
even easy and very cheap, really, if we go with the advice of the former President Olusegun Obasanjo that what Nigeria needs is restructuring of the mind and not restructuring per se, that if every Nigerian decides to change for the better, even the leaders, do the right thing at the right time, that the country is going to fare better?
Partially, I agree with him, but not totally. Okay. We have to restructure the country as it's presently. The federal government is just too weighty, and that is what is causing all the problem. When the resources, about 50% of the resources go to the federal government, and about 36 states, local governments, local council shares, how much? 48%. What are we talking about? There is a problem in that, and that is why everybody is going cap in hand to Abuja every month.
It doesn't give room
for creativity at all. But if you restructure it where I said, come, everything in your state, go, explore whatever you have. Come back and just pay something back to the federal government. That was what was happening. What happened in the first. That was why he had all the coals. That was why he had all the coals in Enugu. That's why we had the cocoa in the southwest. That's why you had so much groundnut in the north. We had oil, practically had, but oil was just coming up and the rest of it. Then he said those in the Niger Delta, okay, go ahead. So is what it will make the man in Kogi, as I was saying, to go and look at the Itakpe and see what he has. What he has in the Itakpe is more than the oil in the.
Exactly.
The oil is drying up, and apart from that, there's no market for oil.
Exactly.
But gold,
things are changing.
Gold and other minerals are rising on a daily basis. Gold doesn't come down, right? So demand there with. Demand in Ondo or Ekiti, we look at butane. We lack butane to tie our roads and the rest of them. You look at, they have it in large quantity in that park. They're going to it and be selling to other states and even exporting. Okay? You come to even even in the same Kogi, limestone that Dangote uses for cement. We have so many. So you see that everybody, you go to the east, palm oil is still very, very strong in the international market. Okay? Look at the north. They have so many things. The groundnut. Look at the food. Benue alone can feed the nation and export. We can export. They can say, okay, Benue, if this other, get whatever you have.
That's your comparative advantage.
Please just go with
ahead.
it. You go to some part of the north. You have the cows, you have the meat, you have the rest of the. Every part of the country. It's not the federal government. Federal government, you have to get a license for us to be able to try see what is in your ground. That is where the problem is. Okay, if we can get that, those are the part. We're not saying total restructuring. It's not possible for us to do that. And there's already a template. In as much as the government doesn't buy that. We've had some conferences. Okay. Whether sovereign or sovereign or whatever. Or national or non-national or state or whatever. We have some. They should just go and look at that paper.
The recommendation.
The recommendation made. Everybody from all parts of the country were that. It wasn't an APC or PDP, whatever. Everybody, they should look at that, pick the basic ones that they think that we can tinker with immediately.
Well, a lot of people had reservations. You remember at that time the APC
That's what I'm
said they were not
going to be part of it.
Exactly.
The APC said
so now having an APC government in place is going to be
in fact,
kind of,
President Buhari said that he wouldn't even look at
that's what I'm saying.
2014
there is no way everything in that paper will be useless. That's what I'm saying. It's a starting point. There's no way. The evolution of power, look at what the National Assembly is doing presently, giving autonomy to the local governments. That was in that paper. Okay, local government elections, 10 years. There was a governor, Osun State, for so many years. They didn't have a local government. There was no local government caretaker. There was no local government chairman and the rest of what they're just doing caretaker. The man ran without commissioners. For, I'm not saying that is part of the mission, but those are the salient points. So if you put down this, and Lagos State can concentrate. Don't forget, close to about 60% or close to 60% of VAT or products comes from Lagos.
From Lagos,
True.
exactly.
But it's been distributed among the 36 states of the federation.
True.
Is that fair? That's not fair enough. So that is the kind of thing we
That's
are
why
looking
Lagos was asking
that is
for
what
1%.
What give us 1%? Just give us 1%, and give us a status like FCT. I believe Lagos State shouldn't even be a state any longer, because Lagos is a mini Nigeria, as far as I'm concerned. We can give them that concession. Okay. Then the regional. If we say, okay, we can say the southeast. Okay. You have your wherever, you have about 5 states and the rest of them. Instead of just putting on Abuja, we can put on a deputy vice president, whatever you call it. Instead of everybody waiting on the president to always, that will be reporting to the national president. So those are kind of things.
But that would be, a lot of people will see it as duplication of offices if you're going to have deputy presidents for all the regions.
I'm not saying we should. I am saying that those are I'm just looking at structure.
Okay.
This, as it presently runs, it is not working.
Well, many would say that, of course, it boils down to the political will, and of course that the constitution we are using at the moment is not even favorable, really, because it was put in place by a military government before this present democracy was put in place. So that there is a serious need for the people to have their own constitution for this civilian government.
I agree. But I can tell you that can take another 10 years. Because by the time the National Assembly and the rest of them, National Assembly go through it, it has to go to each and every one of the states for concurrence. It's not just a national.
They are doing that for the amendments. So why not just draft one and go through the process?
They are just picking it in piecemeal and the rest of them. I don't know why they cannot take it holistically and we just vote on it and just have something. Because what we have presently was something that was just fixed. It was made by the military to fit their own system. Not a civil, the fit is the mentality of the military. What they came up with was more like for me, it was more like a military constitution.
No, but to be fair, even though it was under the military, but it wasn't just military or soldiers who came around and drafted it. They brought Nigerians together. There was a constituent assembly made up of Nigerians from all walks of life who came together to draft the constitution at the time.
Who signed off on it?
Well, whether it is signed by, but the point there is that a constitution is a guiding principle, guiding rule that guide people for a period of time. Whether we're going to say, okay, the system, as it was, like you said, was geared or was packaged to favor the military, it can call for a review. It can call for an amendment going forward.
Why not a people's constitution?
But
at the beginning of the constitution, they say we Nigerians. Were you part of it?
We the people
of Nigeria.
But the point there is, whether we were part of it or we're not part of it, that's the constitution. It can be reviewed. The language can be changed. It's just amendment.
It can be I think
that's to end it here. It was quite interesting. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you very much.
Wonderful. Thank you for your analysis.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you very much for coming.